Listen up. It's your weekend warrior here, Kev, and this is the channel Black Men Being Brutally Honest. We're here another Saturday night for another PC Day Resistance. Many things that you could be doing this Saturday evening, such as I don't know, going out to dance the night away, getting drunk with your friends. Or you can be doing anything on an evening night on the town. But for those of us sitting at home, especially with me, just eating dinner with my family, shoo, sit back and enjoy a good show. So welcome. It's showtime. All right. So just wanted to cover a few things tonight. As far as the subject matter is white supremacy. You know, not. Let me throw a couple disclaimers out there real quick. It's not the, you know, Al Sharpton, white supremacy, white supremacy, stuff like that. I just wanted to talk about, a few of the psychological effects. And what I'll do while we're waiting for people to come in, you know, uh, I will bring up a few examples of what I see as can be psychologically damaging to our community with its long term effects. First off, and this is one that really impacts us, hits a little close to home. Is say and this might seem as a small example to some, but I know how dismissive people can be on this one. Um, and that's just what it's about. The dismissiveness of black platforms also to imply that white platforms are better. This also reflects our attitudes of how we approach things such as black enterprise. You know, excuse me. What I mean by that is the attitude that we display when we go in a black business versus when we go in a non-black. Namely, since we're talking about WS, the W businesses. And if one thing I do notice is that when the W businesses mess up, we don't consider it a W business. Uh, we just consider it a business. We may go back, we may not go back. We may go to another store that is in that chain. But when we go to and then, black, labeling it a black business for some reason gives it a negative stigma when you bring it in to as far as it concerns about talks in our community. Um, when a so-called quote unquote black business messes up, then we carry the attitude like we're done with the business forever. And some people call that sensible, logical. And you know what? I'm not telling people, what to do with their money or where they should take their money. But I think that when we have that attitude, it could sort of spread like a cancer to other people. They keep, people have this attitude where if, they keep hearing this about, oh, black business is this, black business is that, then of course, after years and years of saying that, you're gonna mind fuck yourself into believing it. And I mean that ain't exactly fair, especially for a struggling black business. I was explaining it to a relative of mine. If if we're not going to support the black business, they can't make the money to get better. I mean, of course, when they start out, they're probably going to require a little bit more. Their prices are going to have to be a certain way. I mean, in your first year starting business, you don't make any money. You don't make any money till you make it out of your first year. And a lot of black businesses don't make it out of the first year. First of all, they're not going to uh, shout out to Clark Kent Sr., Superman Clark Kent Sr. First of all, other communities is not going to invest into that business. They have no reason to, because guess what? Everybody's always going to go to their business. Then you got our people not supporting it. What chance do they have? And these aren't, These aren't BS businesses either. They're actually, some of them are pretty good. You know, dated a girl years ago. Things were short term. She bigged up a black business. Say we need to go to this black business. No, he bigged it up, and it was a pizza place. Talked to the man, all that stuff. She left. We got home 15 minutes later. She wasn't satisfied with the temperature of the pizza. Granted, we just had to ride for 15 minutes. Don't tell her how long the pizza that we ordered sat there. But, her logic is, oh, I'm going to call, I'm going to complain. They need to do better, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just sitting up there like, you know, you were just talking about how, we all need to support black businesses and such. I mean, give these people a chance. It ain't that bad. I mean, there's a microwave back there. But, to say the least, dating that type of person was short term. They only served one purpose at that point. Fellas, let's be brutally honest here. If the intellect seems to be spoiled rotten, you only want physical. And then if they screw up any other kind of way, you broom them. But, that was me in a past life. But anyway, I think y'all get the picture. I mean, being dismissive of black platforms and saying that white ones are better. I mean, I heard a whole spiel about, a few guys talking about how we don't adopt the technology, the streaming technology. And I understand that because, I've used other means of getting things out on YouTube, like, editing apps and, Streamlabs. I use Streamlabs. I'm not very savvy with all the little widgets and functions yet, but the the guys that were on this broadcast was using that to criticize, black male platforms. And I'm sitting up there like, well, if you know so goddamn much, why don't you teach these guys? Now I know there was another YouTuber that just did something on how he does Streamlabs, and he's a guy with much more clout. So I'm not talking about that guy. For those of you out there who heard him talk about Streamlabs, not that guy. This is another group of guys. Like they were, so I don't want any miscommunications, but and they were just doing it. They were just doing like they were doing it to down guys that got bigger viewership than them. First of all, so that's some jealous ass shit. But the context of the conversation was, what you're doing is not good enough because you're not utilizing the technology that some of these non-black, cat platforms use. And at that point, when you start talking like that, someone with mentality like me was like, "Who the fuck cares?" I mean, I do it, but I don't force it on everyone else because what you what you leave yourself open to is the raft of someone that is doing much better than you as far as viewership, for whatever reason. And don't think people aren't on here for viewership. If I put out stuff and did one or two video, 1 or 2 views per video, it's no use in me being here. Even if you got like 20 or 30 subs, seriously. I mean, you should be on here to improve constantly. And that's the only thing I'll say. But as far as content creators or these guys that hold these panels that people watch and people get into, hey, nothing but love for you guys, especially in the black manosphere. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's another thing, as far as some of the fixes of, WS, how the black manosphere is approached. And, first off, let's just make sure that, when you say something about the black manosphere, make sure that you specify that you use these 2 words right here, black manosphere. Because there is a manosphere that is non-black that I think is dominated by cats. So, you have to be more specific and, just to who you're talking about because there's a lot of criticism. There are a couple of people that are specific, but I mean, it's not getting them anywhere. It's just making them look a certain way, and that certain way isn't very good. But I just want to make sure for those people that you get it right. I said this on one of my other broadcasts, and making sure that we are well communicated with. Excuse me, that you say black manosphere because we do understand that we are in a state of WS, as far as like our Western culture is concerned. And I feel like that there might need to be some move to fortify, you know, it, And I mean, like, using the word fortify for social media space. Yeah, of course. You know, I mean, I mean, think of it as a fun activity, to be able to stand together as black men and, to be able to stand on something, stand on something more than just, you know, talking shit. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with a little shit talking every now and again. I see it as fun sometimes, but if it's the only thing that people are doing and it is like unproductive, then hey, it's like it's fun as far as junk for the brain, to remove you from life's realities, but there's always that circling back to reality that you have to worry about because I do understand that people can play characters and personas on the internet. I do understand that, and there's a danger for misinformation to be spread. So also when using, the words black manosphere, I try to be as careful as possible when I use those two words together because it's like there are many different productive personalities that comprise this area. So not to offend. I mean, I'm just getting here and I will tell you something. When I came to this space, let me see. The first ones I heard was Negro Manosphere. That was the first one. And, that would still, like, as far as Manosphere, make me pretty green to the information. I'm willing to take any kind of, history lesson from anyone, but I put a little note. If it's done in a condescending manner, I'm the kind of person that sort of reacts because every time I do see these which you should say black manosphere history lessons. I mean, is every time I see the history lessons, they're said in a condescending manner, and I feel like myself as an adult that you can talk to me about like I'm an adult because before any of this YouTube shit, I was an adult for a lot of years, and I try to approach people the same way. Even if I don't know you that if I know enough about you, then hey, I go ahead and react to you accordingly. But I do understand that basic respect as a human is something that I don't know. I guess with the code that I go by, I'll do that first. But then when you prove to be something else, then that's pretty much it for me. But one thing about white supremacy, especially back in the day, was uh, falsely accusing black men of all kinds of sexual deviancy. That's one thing, and that's what I've been seeing as far as a lot of black manosphere haters. Is like you're accusing black men on a constant basis of sexual deviancy. I heard words rape, pedophilia, and I mean like for real, without any kind of like solid evidence or some kind of charge or something. That's really strong to fucking say. Oh man, and shout out, thanks for the super chat, Zero. What up? He said adults can wear diapers when they become too adult in age. Yeah, we're talking about also when they lose their mind, their sound minds. Because my grandmother on my dad's side, she didn't lose her mind for real, to like the last 6 months of her life, and she lived to 96 years old. That was a strong lady, you know. So, I mean, yeah, but I chalked it up to an outlier because I've known other old people that good with that same way. Depends and all. It's yeah, it's gotta love our old people. I would say that gotta love the ones that came before us because they're the ones. And I'm glad Zero kind of brought this up because the old people in our community saw the worst white supremacy. We ain't seen shit in 2020. It's more of a psychological thing at this point. With us, and it's something that it's such an easy hurdle to jump because you have to understand and realize that there are some truths that you're going to have to accept that's going to come with that. So take that how you want. But thanks for the super chat, Zero. Appreciate it, brother. All right, all right. So just like I said, if you are especially a black person that is in the black YouTube space and you want to make a video about the black manosphere, make sure you use those two words right there because we don't want to misconstrue that with any of these other manosphere movements. Make sure you understand and recognize that you're talking about black men and a few females too that's trying to put something together for your black ass. But oh, that's all I'll say about that. So anyway, for those people, but representatives like Zero, I'm cool with those guys. So let's see. All right, so let's get back to the subject matter. All right, we'll talk about imagery when I get a couple people up here. Just use of celebrity influence because I do see a couple of, I'll put some images up, but I see a couple of things every now and again. Like I saw Kevin Hart, and this is going to make me kind of seem like I'm proving Kevin Hart's argument in this video when I talk about this because I'm pulling the negative out of something he was trying to say. He was doing this little interview with Joe Rogan saying, how positive he was and, kind of being a little condescending about, being positive. One thing I do know about Kevin Hart is Kevin Hart actively stays away from the conversation. And by the conversation is, we're talking about everything that's going on out here, as far as black people, as far as, police brutality. I mean, he'll probably send a virtue signal every now and again, but he doesn't really, really, really get into it. I mean, Kevin Hart is the kind of guy that's on record of saying things like, if I started talking about racism and white supremacy, that it would alienate a part of my audience. So Kevin Hart, whatever. I mean, he can like give me all the messages he want about positivity, but I mean, when Kathy Griffin calls you a little bitch for not going at Trump like she wanted you to, and you don't respond, I mean, I can't chalk it up to being positive. I mean, it's like you don't have to fight everybody. People have to choose their battles. And I don't want to fight everybody. People. I mean, shoot, you should see me on Facebook. That shit is unbelievable. Just let me put it to you like this. Let me go off into another. When I named that Facebook group "Black Men Being Brutally Honest with Everyone" on purpose, and what I plan on doing, like maybe with one of the shows next week, is just giving like the full spiel because everybody always says, like especially on Facebook, that they assume what I created the group for instead of just asking me. And if it was that serious, talking to me extensively about it, they always saying stuff. Well, Kev, you made a whole Facebook group to bash black women. I'm like, what the fuck? You know how many posts you ignore in order to make that point? I mean, it's so. I mean, it went like there. Let me put it like this: there are many groups named Black Men Being Brutally Honest, Black Men and Women, Black Women Being Brutally Honest. Like, yeah, it's all of them out there. But I'm the originator. I'm the originator. I'm the proven originator, and all of that came from me. A lot of those little clones were like splintered off. They were little bitter people who got kicked out because they broke my rules. I don't allow people to go at people's kids and dead family members, but I get called a bitch for that by other black people. They don't see my good qualities. They always see the fact that, hey, you know what, I'm gonna let black men say as much as black women. Because I do believe that, you know, in order to protect, you have to respect. I don't know. I'll break down the meaning of that some other time. Uh, but it's like this. I never had any ill will or intent, but I actually found myself gaining ill will and intent for my people. And I often like wonder if I myself was thinking in terms of, you know, and I mean, I never thought of myself as a white supremacist or anything like that. But, by letting black people let it all hang out, was I contributing to white supremacy? And I never thought I was doing that. If my people, my community decided that they wanted to talk a certain way, there was no control I had over that. In order for me to control it, I would have to remove freedom of speech. And that's what WS wants to do to you. I don't want to do that. And if it costs me some popularity points, hey, I'm not trying to win a popularity contest. I mean, of course, I'm trying to gain viewership on more viewership on YouTube. But if don't lie to yourself and say you're not here for sometimes for views. I mean, you a lot of people are here to get out a message, but they use views as a way of saying, hey, you know what, I put in this work right here, blah blah blah. It's credibility. Credibility is credibility, whatever. But my intent was never ill, and anyone that says that my intent was ill for creating a space for black men to not be castigated and ostracized every time they told the truth on Facebook, then kiss my goddamn ass. If you think I did it to be malicious, kiss my ass. I'm sorry. It's about time that we stop. That we as black men stop being nice about people throwing shit at us all the time. I mean, I'm not saying fight everybody. You can destroy anyone with some logic. Anybody. It ain't got to be some ratchet ass showdown. Even though that's what a lot of our people seem to crave over good judgment and common sense to win the conversation. But unfortunately, that's what we deal with right now because we've been beat up so bad by WS, we don't see any other alternative on how to act. I mean, or how to, like, everything's emotional. I've never been called a Russian troll so much for a Caucasian man in my life. And when I say Caucasian man, I say Joe Biden. I think the two choices that we have absolutely fucking suck. I really do. But to be called a coon by black people because I'm not going to roll with Biden. I was like, and I'm not a Trump guy either. I was like, what the hell is wrong with y'all? People are too emotional. All right, shapeshifter, time traveler. You see white supremacists killing blacks. Yeah, unfortunately, I did watch that George Floyd video. And yeah, that was a white supremacist killing a black person. Yeah, as far as like seeing it with my own eyes. Yeah, I saw a white supremacist kill a black a long time ago. I was at a club in a small shotgun town outside of Montgomery, Alabama, and it was me and three other guys. I would say it's four of us came, three of us left. I mean, three of us went back. Yeah. If let me put it to y'all like this. If you I put it like this, if you harm other black people and you're black, you're a white supremacist to me. I don't care if you portrayed yourself. He was one of them sweater thugs too. I remember seeing the guy because I was sitting in my car waiting for these guys to come out here because I'm your stereotypical good guy, and what I mean by stereotypical good guy is I'm labeled as a good guy by all the surrounding black folks that think they're so goddamn cool. But okay, being good is better than being a sucky person any day. But I'm sitting in this vehicle I'm sitting in the driver's seat. I just got it. It was a 1998 Ford Explorer. And, it was 2001. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, Ford Explorer. Yeah, but it was new. It was clean. It was my first time ever driving a stick shift. Learn how to drive a stick shift in 45 minutes. So my homeboy came over, and his homeboy, and I went and picked up his homeboy, who just so happened to be a like a California Crip. Not blood. He was a blood. He was a blood. Like seriously, he was from California. He was a blood. So sitting in the car, waiting for these fools to come out because they want to. It's just like club. They want to make sure they want to make sure that their happy ending was solidified. So one of them come out, sit in the car. I was like, man, go get these niggas, man. Go get these niggas. I was like, okay. So he goes back in the club. Bullshits around because I know this guy. I say I know he bullshitting, but if you want to talk to, want to talk to some women, talk to some women. Go ahead. I'm not hating. So the other guy the blood. He walking toward the car, and it seems like he's kind of a little nervous, ever so nervous, like because I look at the look on his face. He attempts to get in the he attempts to get in the truck. All of a sudden, Sweater Thug walks up, points a gun at him. Bam, 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 bam. Before the second discharge of the firearm, I had gotten out of my vehicle and ran behind another car. It's like, wow. Dude died right there. I was like, damn. I was like, these dudes, like, I didn't have an easy feeling about going to that place in the first place at all. Because, I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not the kind of guy that hang out in spots like that. Call me a dweeb if you want. I don't give a fuck. I'm alive. And not to put down old guy. That was like one of the worst things I've ever seen. So yeah. So to answer shapeshifter time travel, yeah, I've seen a white supremacist killing a black. I mean, he wasn't white, but yeah, he's a white supremacist. If you believe in maliciously snuffing out another black person like that, yeah, you are serving white supremacy quite good. You're serving the racism that wants to get rid of us. So yeah, I seen it, but still can't get it out of my head. So you're correct. So what up, Gerald? What's going on? So what you talking about? Uh-oh. And here we go. What's going on, Roger?
Long live the habitual line steppers. What's going on, kid?
Long live the habitual line steppers.
Oh, you know
Yeah.
what, Kev? I got you on in the background. Hold on 1 second.
Word.
Okay, boom. My bad. My bad.
All right.
Okay. Hey, you
Yeah.
know what? You make an interesting point. I will say that you make an interesting point because as I've told many people, white supremacy is an ideology. It's not a skin color. You know, plain and simple.
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah.
believe in their ideology and you move according to their ideology, you need to get the white supremacy out of you if you're black, especially. Everybody else can get rid of it too, but if you're black, you especially need to get it out of you.
Hmm. Yeah. Because I mean, we were all raised in a state of it. I mean, I go ahead and admit it. I mean, whenever I looked at TV programs, and this is about imagery right now. I used to look at the white protagonist as the hero, like is nothing could touch him, and I wasn't even thinking about And then whenever I seen somebody look like me, he was like the sidekick, or he was the criminal. So, and I was rooting for the white guy, until I got a little, I don't know, a little like a little wake up call, and just like started rooting for the black guy out of nowhere. I don't know. I think this happened around fourth grade, because I really started to. They really they slipped in a little history for us. I'm sure that they would have gotten in trouble for doing that, but I went to a Catholic school, but fortunately for me, I had a black woman for a third grade teacher, a black woman for a fourth grade teacher, black woman for a sixth grade teacher, and a seventh grade teacher, and a black man for an eighth grade teacher. None of which were tied to the Catholic faith, which was predominantly white at that establishment. And they slipped in some stuff for us that would help us in life. And I appreciate that. And they would always, and they started teaching me a little about how to appreciate my people and to appreciate and love myself. On top of my parents, especially my dad, give me history lessons and such. And I try to, like my daughter's like she's too young to get some of the really strong messages, but I try to send her little signals like, love your hair, love your skin tone, stuff like that, just to try to from whatever whatever she's going to see on that TV, I want to let her know that it is a reality that will be much better for her. Don't take the scraps that they throw you. Know that you are capable of much greater than that.
Well, I'm gonna say I'm gonna have to applaud those teachers who slipped in some good messages to you. It's good to hear that. You know, um, I don't have the best impression of a lot of folks who say they're Catholic. They don't communicate the best way to me. I'm not. I ain't saying they bad, but just the way
No,
they
but it's
explain
like,
themselves to me. But you know,
but I just tell you, it's really honestly when it comes to us as blacks, is a totally different world. I can assure you. But I mean, I'm weary of any kind of organized clergy. It is, and it's this, and that's recent me. Back then was growing up me, and I have a lot of good memories with that. So it's gotten to a state right now of I mean, I feel like once the older people die out, then it's probably gonna start kind of fizzling. But as far as for us, because fortunately for us, we're being privy to new information every day, and more people are waking up. Fortunately, um,
well, I'm just glad some folks in your life gave you some real information because I do believe that helped me out a lot as I was developing. My parents let me know we will be taught stuff. Some of it's gonna be outright lies. Know how to answer a test question, yet know the truth. When you're in school, it's not about the right answer; it's about the answer they're looking for. you know. So
shape
I
shift.
was I was
Hey,
taught the difference. Yeah.
yeah. Shape shift to time traveler. You aren't black. You're multiracial mutt. No pure black exists in the USA, only in Africa. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I can't really go along with that comment over my dark skin, but I understand that. I mean, I do understand that America is a melting pot, and yes, somewhere in my family, somewhere might be a non-black here and there, because I can look at my great grandmother. She has she's really bright skin. I'll put it like that. And and my grandmother, she's bright skinned. My granddaddy's dark skinned. I'm dark skinned. So I mean, hey, genetics. I think that I know it's pretty much dominating, and I know what claim I can make. And this ain't even about how the rest of the world sees me. And and it really, honestly, shapeshifter time traveler is not about how black people see me either, because like in 2020, a lot of us don't know what that shit is. Like seriously, I mean, we want to always point the finger at black men who date white women, but it goes far deeper than that. So, I mean, I mean, and it's just like this. It's honestly, you said that on a program of a person whose blackness was always questioned anyway, just by my skin tone. I mean, not my skin tone, my speech, my the way I enunciate words. People act like that. I'm a space alien when they start. They hear me talking. Like you have this country draw. It's like when and the irony of that is whenever I hear anybody doing stereotypical Southern that's black, that's not from my area, I just want to punch him in the face. I don't know. I watched some old straight to Netflix film, and dude just came out. He was a comedian from Def Comedy Jam, but hadn't seen him since Def Comedy Jam and a couple of episodes of Martin back in the day. He pops up in the movie in the 2017, and he's like, "I'm from Alabama." I was like, "I want this dude's address. I want to kick him in his nuts." Like, dude, we don't stop. Cut that bullshit out. You from New York. Like, I mean, no diss to people from New York, but just understand.
Well, I'm gonna see
But
if I can blow people. I'm gonna see if I can blow people's mind real quick.
go ahead.
White people come from black people, so even if you have them mixed in, you're still 100% black.
Yeah, Gerald. Gerald says, Kev, you are brown skinned, not black. I can bet you. Yeah, I said I'm dark skinned. I didn't say like, I figured out the whole black white thing a long time ago just by looking at a box of crayons when I was 5 years old. I was called black, but I looked at that black crayon and I was like, this says black, and you're saying I'm black. What the hell? And then it was kind of back in like the early, like the 80s when in childhood, it was kind of just a go with it attitude. So we called ourselves black because I put it like this: uh, black in a certain definition, and I hope I'm correct because I'll look this up. Black is the unknown, and honestly, we are unknown to our lineage. So calling us black in that sense is okay. But as far as literal color, nah. Gerald's right. You're brown. I'm brown skinned. I'm a dark brown skin, but I'm brown skinned. So, but as far as I think people are just so used to saying black. I think it'll take a while to reverse that miseducation, and some people are doing it, but it seemed like to me that people that are doing it sound a bit hotepish when they try to push that on people, and it comes off as condescending and assholey and something that we don't need. So, whatever.
Well, my thing is people have to understand the difference between a color classification and a nationality. There's a lot of confusion that comes on because of color classifications and analogies. I mean, and nationalities. See, I'm a black. That's your color classification. American. Saying I'm black does not stop me from being American because my nationality is America. The same way you can have a black Mexican means what? It means a guy who's actually skin tone that looks like ours, but his nation is Mexico. That's what nation he belongs to. So a lot of people don't understand the difference between color classifications and nationalities. And then some people speak in terms that are actually more advanced, but the general public ain't ready for those terms. I'll say that the general public won't be able to follow the conversation if you start really pushing past the black concept, because it is a certain concept that has a certain meaning. It's just a lot of people wouldn't be able to follow all that. So I get where people are coming from when they say those type of things. You know.
Yeah, I get it. I get it too. But sometimes we catch ourselves trying to think into it too much and trying to make people think too much. But I get it. I get it. Okay, so shapeshifter, time traveler. Yeah, this comment reinforces what I just said. Most of us don't know who we are. We all different, and that's why black community has no structure.
Now I'm not gonna say that's why the black community has no structure. I'm not gonna say that. And the reason
I
the
say
black community.
culture.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say
It's,
this.
go ahead. Go
We
ahead.
have
Go
a
ahead.
culture because the culture is about people's behavior. We have a culture, but as a whole, it's a dysfunctional culture because we got too many black people listening to white folks. That's
Hmm.
why our culture is dysfunctional.
Hmm. WS.
If we stop that, we'd be fine.
Yeah. I mean, and I think it's an easy fix that's being made complicated. I honestly believe that.
Well, when have black people had space and opportunity and not flourished?
Mm. Yeah. That is correct. That is correct.
See, and people don't ever really think about that. If once you remove listening to white folks, and that's nothing against all the white folks listening, I'm just keeping it real. But once black people remove listening to white folks, they flourish. There's
Mm.
never been a time in history where black folks didn't had no white people around and did not flourish.
Okay. Okay. So I wonder, shapeshifter or time traveler. I got a question for you. Do you think that what do you really feel like that you identify as, if you feel like that's my business or not? I mean, what would be the proper terminology that you would use instead of black or white, just so we'll have clarity. So you can type it out, whatever. Or I mean, for anyone, I did put a link in the chat. You can come up to the panel and join the conversation. We do welcome folks. We do welcome everyone, but keep in mind that we do keep things respectful over here, and I just think it makes for more productive, fun conversation instead of the some of the usual. And which that WS, some of which that WS started to lead us to believe. You know. So, do you think that a lot of us are afraid of WS?
No, I don't think is that we're afraid of it. And a lot of us don't realize that we that's what we've been trained to be.
Hmm.
Men kind of shake it earlier because white supremacy does it affects us a lot different than it affects the women. See, so a lot of women they accept that it is what it is, and they just don't mind it.
Mm.
You know, because white supremacy, the focus of or WS as you've been saying, the focus of it is to hate the black men. Black men should be nothing but labor that's used for anyone but himself. And so if you're a black woman, that's not such a terrible thing.
Mm.
At least in a mindset, because it actually is a terrible thing. But for a lot of people, people like to use other people, and people like to misuse other people. That's what it just comes down to that. So um, a lot of folks, if slavery was legal, they'd have one. Just keep it real. So people who believe in white supremacy, those are just people who would have slaves, and even black women, if they had an opportunity to have a slave, would they have one? Most of them, sure they would, because that's just their character. You
Mm.
know, they've been
Yeah.
conditioned to be that way. At a certain point, we grow up and we start realizing how we've been conditioned in a lot of areas, and some of us just roll with it.
Okay. Shout out to BGS Ipmore in the chat and Dead Set Anime. What's up? Glad y'all could join us. We are talking about white supremacy. Well, WS as something to fear. We're just gonna try to be careful and call it WS. So, the haters and I guess I don't know the algorithm, but that's what they call it, the algorithm. But I don't know. It's just like I said. How do you feel about this statement, Roger? Dad said, "Anime. I would have as many slaves as I could afford."
Well, I'm pretty sure he said that joking. I'm gonna
Yeah,
give him
yeah,
that much
yeah.
credit. But I mean, real talk. A lot of folks do try to pretend that they're far more moral than what they actually are. Like if I had a chance to have a slave and I could just beat on my slave and just wear him out, like I wouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because it just there's certain things I'm just not gonna do from a morality standpoint, and
Yeah.
I'm okay with something I may have to lose because of a certain moral stance I take. I'm okay with that because I know everything's a trade off at the end of the day. You know, I wouldn't beat no slave. Point blank. Yeah.
Yeah.
It,
Okay, Rod. Yeah, I
mhm.
wouldn't do that either, man. Just based on the principle and the history of the whole thing. But yeah, Roger. Let's welcome the guy that I'm sure gave the idea of the right to rap song, "Pimp Juice." Gerald, what's going on, God? What's going on?
The
Hey,
main man is in the building.
hey, how you? No,
My
just
man.
say an old man is in the building. What's up with you,
Now
brothers, man?
you're
What's
the
up?
main man now, Gerald. Come on now. You the main man. You know
Well,
it.
well, you know what? I listen to my old ass, but I definitely like sometimes just sitting back, listen to BGS, man, and some of his analogies. And now that I see I mean, I kind of like looked at his angle, and I understand where he's coming from because now he's been old enough to see it. And I'm like, damn, I understand it. So you must understand, man, if you look at economics, let's just look at money. Follow that slime, and you will see everything you're supposed to see, such as white supremacy. Their ass ain't white. My t-shirt is white, but their ass ain't white. See, it took me to get older to learn about the Black Law Dictionary and about laws and how they directed us in a whole nother way of life, and they played us with color. Now that I'm in another country, I dare not say to these people, you're white and I'm black, when they'll straight up say, hold up, man, I'm from Ireland, I'm from Poland, I don't play those color games. I like, holy shit. Like, they say you black. Well, how the fuck can I mean, how can I be black when my skin is brown? And like, hey, you see, you're getting it now. So it was a guy named Horace Greeley back in the days who they came up with these Masons, and they controlled everybody. And I do mean everybody. So the best way to do it is manipulate the game. And they have manipulated this game extremely very well.
Yeah,
Screw
like
the
some
white.
mad scientist.
Right. Dude, they put it in the cartoon, Pinky and the Brain. What Pinky want to do everything? He wants to rule the world. And remember, a lot of people, Kevin, Raj, they like living in that box. My brown skinned ass got outside that box and started looking around and noticed there's a lot of space, there's a lot of different philosophies, and it's like, wow, man. And so I embellished myself into all of that. And then when I came back onto the plantation, and what a friend saying, this is where you're going to catch hell, because you cannot wake up the sheeples. You can't wake them up. They're done. Anybody who considers themselves want to vote for this son of a bitch Biden, that motherfucker ain't shit. Let me put it on record. Let me put it on record. Let me throw some shit at you, Buck. Let me throw some shit at you. Go ahead.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, man. The way people are going at Ice Cube and then trying to validate it with what Biden has in store is very, very sad, to say the least. And I mean, like, I'm not saying that as some kind of Trump supporter because, like I said, every time you say something like that, they start accusing you of being a Trump guy. I'm just saying it because, like, look how that actually looks on the surface. It looks pretty bad.
Let me say this, Kev. Let's push Trump out the way. Let's go all the way back to Kennedy. Kennedy got murdered for telling the truth. Okay, let's eliminate Kennedy and let's come all the way up, and let's not even come to Trump yet. All of them son of a bitches wasn't shit. Coming from Lyndon Baines Johnson all the way to Barry Sotoros, aka Barack Obama, George Bush Jr., George Bush Sr., all of them. For the habitual line steppers and even the rest of the shows, these are the best times to be living, because as spirits, we can see they bullshit now. Now you're a batter at a batter's box, and I'm about to throw you the pitch. Check out this pitch I'm about to throw at you. Joe Biden's vice president nominee is a lady named Kamala Harris. I want you to wrap your mind around this while I light this little joint. This trick was getting paid $72,000 a year for a 15-hour week job, y'all. Everything. What you say?
Be a politician.
and we all know that poly means a group of people, and we all know what a tick is: a bunch of people being bloodsuckers. See, you can't fool us no more. Now, the hatred for Trump doesn't come from us. It came from television program. Oh, he's a racist. He's this. He's that. It wasn't saying shit when he was a businessman. The United States is a corporation. It is a business. But if these son of a bitches, and I did say son of a bitches, want to put Joe Biden, the same man that was with Bill Clinton, who signed that crime bill, I think some of them SOBs in the United States deserve a foot up their ass and to get it. I'm serious. Now, I'm old enough that blows me away. Now, listen to y'all. It blows me away that children for decades have been fucking kidnapped under disguise of racial tension, white supremacy, any kind of fucking supremacy. It's the fact that they control our thinking. That's where I have a problem with you. I think outside the box. That's why sometimes I like being a fan of the show instead of come on the panel, because I appreciate you guys. I always tell y'all, man, I like y'all shows. You know, Roger, like there was one show you had, Kev. I'd be in there and I just turn down the TV and turn up your show. Roger, the same thing. I get up in the morning, fix me some grits and eggs, and turn it up and won't even say a word, just listen and read some of the comments. Sometime I had the energy, sometime I don't. But the things I'm learning today, and I'm telling you guys, we're in for a treat on this election, especially
Treat.
if a Trump gets back in, because y'all gonna see some shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm in a traitorous country. I'm serious. I'm in a traitorous country. You're gonna see some shit, and I'm letting you know Trump ain't the bad guy, because care about you being from Alabama and me being from Louisiana. A teacher always said that the Democratic Party was a party that lynched the Native people, and I used to say, "Wait, what do you mean Native people, man? Them ain't no. I mean, what do you do?" Say, "No, bro. Take a good look in the mirror. Your ass is the Native people." I always kept that line to myself because I never wanted to be embarrassed and say that and take the laughter of people, only for it to come out 40 years later that our brown skinned asses of native of this land. They played a pimping economical game on us.
Oh, absolutely they did. Absolutely
They
they
played
did.
the game on us. You
And,
know,
and they still winning because we got people who literally go out and vote for their own destruction, which is
I'm
crazy.
I'm done. I'm done.
Well,
I'm
let me
done.
say this real quick here, because I see. Shout out to you, Rael, in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, BGS, and everybody watching. Always good to see the people around. So shout out to all y'all. But let's just take a quick pause and let's just basically, shameless plug. Gerald just already said that our shows are great to watch at any time, any place, no matter what you're doing. I just want to let us all reflect on what Gerald just said.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love this.
indeed.
I'm not, Kev, I love y'all, man, because it's like I've been around y'all and see, we say y'all. People say, what you mean by y'all up here in Canada? I'll say that means everybody. When you say y'all, it's abbreviation for everybody. I enjoy the dialogue with you guys because y'all from different sectors, and it's like being around some friends at a barbecue having that real conversation. I miss that shit about the States because it was just getting good when I left the United States. It was just getting good. Now we have social media, and it's like I'm with you guys. So yeah, long live the habitual steppers. Love it. Donnie, you ain't shit for watching, listening. Don't care. I love this down to earth conversation. I really do.
Well, we definitely appreciate you, Gerald. We definitely appreciate you. But I'm gonna say when it comes to the stuff I've been learning about Trump and Biden, because I know a lot of people are just really anti-Trump, and a lot of people are gonna vote for Biden simply because they're anti-Trump. At the end of the day, Trump gonna win the election anyway. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that I want Trump to win, but if I had to pick the races out and I only had those two people to pick from, oh, the races is Biden. That's clear. The races.
Yeah.
If I got to pick a
What
races
do you
out,
think?
I gotta go with Biden.
The more dangerous one is going to be the more politically savvy one, with the agendas that always seem to fulfill WS at times. I mean, I don't understand like why this isn't a deal breaker.
To-
He,
hey,
what's going on, Jared?
no. I want you to talk. I didn't want to interrupt you. I was about to co-sign you and just come out with two things. Though I'm in another country, there's two things. There's these two things that these countries have in what's the word I'm looking for? Coincidental. What they got together. One is called a sin. One is called a SSN. Now I listen to different shows. One of them I think is a Rael or this lady named Sherry Peel Jackson. I got turned on to. SSN number means your slave. What is it? Your slave something number.
Identification number, I would think.
Sin means your slave identification number. Oh, SSN means slave surveillance number. When she said that, I remember just standing up and walking away. I'm like, when you hear the truth, you get chills. So you son of a bitches took the shackles from around our ankles and you put them on our economics. This is why I'm not down with child support, because child support is ran by an entity that's tied in to the Fed Reserve. Remember, I told you, a guy told me, follow the money. It's a different path. Everybody goes after it. You need to step aside and look at the route of where it goes. Why you think they got the big mega churches in the black neighborhood? Shit, if you want to talk about white supremacists, I think Creflo Dollar and TV Fakes is a white supremacy. Want to know why? Show
I
me the
think the
money. Show me
yeah,
the money.
I think with them it's more of the effect of WS. I mean, as far as spreading a doctrine that keeps the minds of black people asleep instead of woke. Um, so I think that they would be agents in that way. It's, because let me put you out like this. I think there's a lot of reasons why people don't like the movie Birth of a Nation, and you want to speak of WS. They put all their reasons on the fact that he married a white woman, but that movie told a lot of truths, and one of those truths is where your form of worship, like the practice of it. I respect beliefs and everything, but the
Mm-hmm.
practice it tells you where the practices came from. Is like whatever you decide to follow. I'm not criticizing that because we have a it's like one of it's like, but you know what I'm saying.
Yes, I know exactly what
It
you're saying.
calls a lot of stuff out, and people would rather stick to a certain reality. I'll just put it like that.
Well, yeah, that Nate Parker having a white wife was just a convenient excuse for people to boycott his movie. But I want to say shout out to Goldie Jones for making that comment about what you put on the screen, Kev, about them voting for their own destruction and even defending it. Shout out to her for saying that. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Obviously, she I like the fact that a sister that smart is over here with us. That
Amen.
says
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah,
You know.
yeah, absolutely. And it's not her first time either. So I just wanted to acknowledge that as well.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait, wait. I got a funny one for you. There is a professor who was at Rutgers, and she's like, if there was a woman's football team, she would be a pulling guard. This lady said, and quote, she said, "We've been supporting the Democratic Party for so long." She said that we should hold sex back from black men to vote Democrat. This lady literally said this.
We
This is
we
I'm just saying,
we
bro.
know exactly what extremely fat woman said that. We know exactly.
Uh,
Yes, this is the same woman
uh,
who blamed Trump that she was picking up weight. She literally on one of these shows. It was on the internet many, not
I know
many
what
years
show
ago,
that
man.
was too.
Yes, that's the
I know
same
exactly
lady.
what you're talking about.
And that lady
Yeah.
said, we're picking up weight because of Donald Trump. And I said to myself, Lord, and I don't say the word Lord. It's like, what planet am
that
I
was her.
living on? That
Yeah,
was
that was
her
her.
who
That's
said
the
the
same
same
lady.
thing about the sex. And one dude said, well, shit, you're
Oh
doing
my
nothing.
god.
Yeah, man, she said that. She said that. It's like, what world am I living in that these women in the Western culture are basically losing their rabbit ass mind? You think that's going to, what you could do is go get all the damn money back that you consume and gave this money to everybody else and let us build. But that's been too much like right for many years. Let us build. But now they want
Yeah,
to say,
that fat broad right there.
go get him, Roger. Go get him, Roger. I'm done. I'm just saying,
Hey man.
go get him, Roger. Just go
Hey,
get him.
hey, Roger. Let's keep something in mind. Like I
Uh,
said last
I'm not
night.
fat shaming. I'm not fat shaming. I'm totally
Yeah, I
not fat
mean,
shaming.
because I don't want them like trying to say because they got YouTube's getting to the point where they're protecting public figures. And, oh,
Okay,
you're
I
bullying.
feel you.
Oh,
Well,
all this
now,
other. But let's call a spade here.
well,
I'm just
well,
saying
can I make
she's
this
not.
clear?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Can
Go
I?
ahead. Go ahead.
I don't weigh enough to bully this woman. Okay, I can't. If I attempted to, if I attempted to mess with her, she definitely has enough weight to put up a fight. I can't bully.
Oh man, Lord
I
have
can't
mercy.
bully this one, y'all. You know.
Oh,
But no, now my only thing with her was just that she's just not a lady that should be talking about sex to me at all. She can talk to sex to her about her boyfriend. She can talk about sex in a room full of women about why she's traumatized or something like that. Since you want to blame everybody else for picking up weight or something like that, but no, you don't come out talking to me to regular general men about sex. You don't do that. You go find somebody else to carry that message. You don't do it. That's
But
all.
but she like I said, she must have somebody on her hip that's used to her freaky deaky, and it's like he must have been talking about vote for Trump. So because that sounds very very deeply personal. Because I don't see, I mean, and I can't speak for all men. I'll just speak for me, especially in the cases I was available. Nah, and she won't be receiving a call from me. I'll just put it like that.
I
All I'm
mean,
saying is, I can imagine
No,
that chair being.
no.
No, I'm just saying, I can imagine that chair being the wall that Trump talked about.
yeah.
Now, the clever people catch that. The clever people catch that. I can imagine that. That's sober being the wall that Trump talked about.
Again, Kevin Rod, it takes me some time to load up on information a week and then get to the weekend and talk about it like this situation here. You just got to be joking. Now, for her to say that, to me, that's white supremacy. It don't make sense. It's not logical. That ignorance represents to me white supremacy. It's ignorant. It's stupid for you to even say that.
Absolutely.
It's
I'm
just
just saying somebody else could have carried that mess. She didn't have to be the one to tweet that. That's all I'm saying.
okay. I'm
No,
sorry.
Now let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and bring up somebody else.
Go for it.
Let me bring up somebody else, and this might strike some nerves here, but
why you doing that, BGS and Rael? Come on, man. Y'all come on the show. This is entertaining today. One of y'all got to come on, man.
It's all good. I mean, it's open for anybody that wants to come up. If you want to come up and share your thoughts, it's open. But they've been BGS has been here before, so I mean it's cool. Maybe I need to stop through there every once in a while. I'll say that. I'll publicly say that. So I mean, BGS is he's a supporter. I see him as such, and I appreciate it. So cool.
So what you got? What you got for us, man? What you got next for us?
All right, this guy. You know who that is, right?
I don't see it. I don't see nothing.
You don't see it? You don't see it?
I don't see anything. Oh yeah. I see it on the other. Yeah, I know who that is. That's the guy from Louisville, Kentucky.
The Attorney General Daniel Cameron. I would probably have to go in the direction that this guy is pretty much a C word. I mean, I think he's. I mean, a lot of people would argue that he was just doing his job, but I think that there is a severe indoctrination that comes with his character.
Okay, I got a phone call. Y'all keep talking.
Okay.
Hello. What up,
I mean, despite how you feel about the whole Breonna Taylor situation,
dude, don't worry.
You think that this guy
I ain't got none.
You got to mute Gerald. You got to mute Gerald.
Okay. All right. Well,
all right, go ahead. What you were saying?
Oh, you going out?
Oh, okay.
So he tells something he ain't got no business telling.
Yeah, creep. Trying to make creep move. but yeah, many would argue that Daniel Cameron was just simply doing his job, but I do feel like that he did go a little bit above and beyond, because of this. I mean, I guess when the people were protesting and trespassed on his property, he was having those people arrested. And you can kind of be on the fence with that one. But, do you think that let me put you like this. From what you know about this guy, do you think that he's a sellout? Do you think he sold his people out?
I mean, everything's about context. See, I'm not gonna say having somebody arrested for being on your property makes you a sellout. I'm not gonna say that because
I was gonna say because he had the right to do that. So I mean, you can say what you want to about that.
Yeah, because I'm a pro freedom person. So you know what I'm saying, and being a pro freedom person, I mean, you're supposed to have rights and you have property rights. So if you own his property, I mean, he ain't have to get nobody arrested, but I can't say he wrong for that because at the end of the day, if somebody's on my property and I really didn't want them there, that would be a problem for me. So I can't say nothing against him on that level alone. But my thing is, sometimes you got to look what's the reasoning behind they make the move. That to me, that's really what it is. You know, what's the reasoning behind it? You know, so
Well,
he
here's
ain't put himself in a good position like that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I don't think that I don't think he's in a good position with black people as a whole. I mean, I think that
So yeah,
I think people are ready to see this guy hung out to dry. Period. For whatever reason. But I think that he was. I think he was trying to. Didn't they say that he did some kind of order or injunction that said that they couldn't charge the cops with a certain charge or something like that,
yeah, I heard.
or
Yeah, I don't know exactly why they saying they couldn't charge the cops, but I know he had something to do with it. You know.
yeah, and also that there might be some kind of ethics violation somewhere. So I mean, with that being said, if there is, then whatever. I'm not going to go to bat for this guy. I'm not.
Well, yeah, and that's my thing too. If you look wrong, you know, even if I want to come rescue, I'm not going to rescue when it don't look right. If you know he's put himself in positions where put like this, it's hard to prove he ain't sell us out. It'll be hard to prove, you know. So I can't go to bat for people who make it hard to prove they're not on our side. Well, I mean, I can't go to bat for people who it's hard. Yeah, who it's hard to prove they're not on our side. Yeah, I can't go to bat for people like that. You know,
Yeah,
you have choices in life, and you're gonna take stances wherever you want to take stances. See, a lot of people don't realize that you take stances anywhere you want to, and I understand to a certain degree if you know what I'm saying. Like if you don't make a whole lot of money, and you know you just a regular person, you know I understand your job being online and things like that. But I mean, well, I can't say for sure, but I'm pretty sure every politician now, once you well, no, I think that's you got to be part of the Congress. But you know when you in Congress, you get your salary for life. You know, so once you in there one time, you can do whatever you got to do that you feel is gonna be right, and you pretty much good. But I'm pretty sure at most political levels, you're gonna get paid for life. You know, being a mayor or a governor of any kind, things like that. Most political level, I ain't gonna say every last one of them because I would have to really research the whole country to see, you know, is the alderman getting this and you know what everybody's getting. But when you hold certain political positions, you're gonna get paid for life anyway. So you can take stances, even if you can paint a picture that you shouldn't, you still got the ability to take a stance. You may lose your seat, but you still gonna get paid anyway. Why not take a stance?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And a lot of that might have to do with a lot of underworld shit going on, or just initial fear of WS, like the topic of this broadcast suggests. But I just want to bring up a couple points real quick. Number one, we don't know what these guys have been through in their lives that brought them to this point. Of removal from black causes and empathy for the struggle of blacks. Excuse me. Like I would always have some belief that we as a people did create people like Clarence Thomas. You know,
That one's kind of hard because when you say Clarence
let me
Thomas,
put it like this. Let me
oh,
put it like this. I mean, just like I was made fun of for my black features, but it wasn't something that made me turn my back on black people completely. But you got to understand, we didn't vet Clarence Thomas going in. You know, we wanted a black man to replace Thurgood Marshall
yep.
so badly that we didn't even check to see who Clarence Thomas was for real. Just like I don't believe that because I seen I looked up some political ads for Daniel Cameron. I'm not going to do it now, and you saw him with his mother. You know, the guy that just let Darren Wilson off forever, the guy who the district attorney up there, Wesley something. Same way. I mean, he used black people to get in that position, and then, despite how I understand that he might have been treated a certain way growing up, because, we do as a people, we penalize intelligence. That's something that we need to, as a people, and a lot of people will disagree, and they'd rather just dismiss this man as a COON and then just be done with it. Which I do understand, because as an adult, you are going to be accountable for not batting for us. Because I see it in examples in other communities all the time. Other people
Yeah,
bat for each other all the time in their communities. They get on code. For some reason,
yeah.
guys like this don't know how to. What's going on?
I was gonna say that Darren Wilson, that's our situation, because I say this thing been going on ever since I was young when we asking them to give us justice. I mean, it's our fault, and I really don't want to say on the internet, but you can almost read my mind. If we asking them and if they're not gonna do it, then I'll leave it at that. You can fill in all those blanks. To go back to the district attorney in in Kentucky. Well, when I was young, I always never trusted a brother without a mustache or a beard. That just was a code back in the days. And the only thing I can say about them is I still say follow the money. Her mother accepted that $12.5 million, or however much she accepted. This conversation is closed. She sold that out and took that money. That lady took that money. So it's like, I don't know why they burning the place up now. It's like, wait, she didn't have to take the money. She didn't have to take it. She took it. That's hush money. Shh.
But
That's
at
hush
but
money.
at the same time, though,
I
uh,
know.
and I see it this way. It could have been $12.5 million or nothing. You know what I'm saying. It could have been nothing easily, because from the way it looked, they were trying to get as less a charge on those cops as possible anyway. But
They did.
what I was trying to say is that we as a people, we do penalize intelligence, and people like this growing up have it tough. Too bad that some do make it with their strength intact, some don't. And a guy like Daniel Cameron feels like that he has no reason to go outside of his position for black people, and that may be because that he feels like that. And black people do sometimes kill me with this being our sense of fairness. I'll put it like that. Sometimes black people can be fair to our detriment. I mean, no matter what is the right thing to do, is like the your enemy on that other side is going to employ strategies that they don't give a damn how they do it. They're going to get to their objective either way it goes. I think sometimes we're just a little bit too soft.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say this. I ain't gonna let him off the hook because of however he was treated in life. Now I get what you're saying about intelligence being penalized in the black community, because there's far too many intelligent people that say that story about how people tried to pick on them simply, excuse me, simply because they came off as intelligent. But at the end of the day, you black. The world ain't fair. Get over it. I don't
Yep.
care. You can't carry that as an adult and say, "Well, I'm gonna screw my people over because of this." At the end of the day, justice has to be demanded. And when it comes to that situation, I mean, the fact that the guy who was there now, the current boyfriend, they went after that man for murder.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're gonna go after him for murder, then you got to be able to put some level of justice when it comes to the police. Now, my thing is, we got to understand what's clearly was done wrong, and if you and see, my thing is, because of it was so much information I done heard and then came out, and it's hard to know what part of it is true versus what part is not true. But
Hmm.
they was gonna come after her anyway, so that's the story being told. They was gonna come after her anyway.
Yep.
So unfortunately, when you involve yourself with certain situations, bad stuff can happen. Like I've said before to you, that I was taught, if you're not gonna fight with them, don't go out with them. Because the people you keep around you can get you into all type of bad situations. So what happened to her was gonna happen anyway. Now, Do I want to see her die? No. Do I say because she was involved with somebody who was in the lifestyle? You know what I'm saying? When it comes to selling drugs and all that type of stuff. No, I don't necessarily want anybody to die just because they happen to be in the lifestyle. But at the end of the day, when you involve yourself in that lifestyle, it's stuff that come with it. So, like, I'm not a person who has a whole lot of sympathy because she died. You know what I'm saying? I understand it was, they had the wrong house at that particular time, but they were gonna come after her anyway. So it my thing is the cops did what they did. They should be held accountable. Period. I don't care about them paying off the family. You know what I'm saying? If that woman says her daughter was worth 12.5 million, that's all she was worth. That's her business. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
That's
right.
her business. You know what I'm saying? Um, but at some point in time, justice got to be justice. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't justice when even see, I would change a lot of stuff about the judicial system anyway. To me, it ain't justice that I can commit the same crimes as somebody else, and then some judge gets to decide how much time I get, and then how much time this other person get, and we can get different time. To me, if justice was justice, if I'm convicted of the same crime as another man or woman, we get the exact same amount of time. Period. That's justice to me.
Yeah, well, you remember we were talking earlier about men in this space with political agendas.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading Dr. Tia Son Johnson's political agenda, and he had something mentioning just that sentencing be fair across the board. Like if you're going to give, don't pad sentencing for black men. Treat us fair across the board. So I'm glad you did say something about that.
Well,
Just
and,
just
and
just
I will
just for
confirm.
kind of a plug.
Yeah, well, and I'm gonna say that Dr. Tia Son Johnson did not get that from me. I did not discuss this with him.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, but at the same time, you have to understand that great minds think alike. So
oh,
Hey,
absolutely, absolutely. But see, my thing is, it's a bad situation because they were gonna come after her anyway, and that's what a lot of people in the public don't realize that they were gonna come after her. If the stories that we hear are true, they were gonna come after her anyway. And my thing is,
yeah,
if you were involved with a drug dealer, and if you really had bank statements and things going to her house. Now, my thing is, I'm looking at it shady because you supposedly had a boyfriend at the time. So why is that man still getting bank statements at your house and you got a boyfriend right now
mm.
that's with you? You see what I'm saying? So the whole story, it's a lot of negative stuff in that story. I don't want to take away from whatever levels of justice the cops should be held to, because my thing is they're accountable for their actions too. But it's hard for me to give a lot of sympathy on the fact that it seems like you was currently cheating on the man you was with, who's I want to find out what that dude was doing, because my thing is, like, if you was with the drug dealer, what was the guy doing that you was supposed to be with? And if y'all was still having conversations, it seemed like y'all still was involved. And then with the fact that they said that she even had a car rented in her name, they ended up having a dead body in the car. I mean,
Mm.
it's hard for me to say that she didn't know what the drug dealer was involved in. So at the end of the day, it's certain things that come along with certain lifestyle. And if you queen of the trap, you got to protect your neck.
So Roger, you saying there's more to the story? And listen, I need to apologize because I gotta make a run. But you basically saying there's more to this story, and there was something you guys saying about law. Listen, man. Again, there's some dangerous words. Why
Well,
we ask? I was
oh,
gonna
my
say
bad.
this.
Go ahead, Gerald. Go ahead.
I was gonna say this, Roger Kevin. Why are we asking them, not to do it? You got to understand, we're asking the oppressor not to oppress. That don't work in a world, in anybody's world. You get what I'm saying? I'm like, please, master,
Absolutely.
don't beat me. So
Absolutely.
I know the
Yeah.
solution. That's why my grandmother was very afraid for me, because life is not like a game of checkers. Life is a game of chess. And I do know that they are very afraid for us to unite into the fact that we are on self-destruction mode, but so is the damn planet. Again, Long live all you guys. I gotta make a run, but I will be listening to the other cast. All right, man.
I
Word,
appreciate you,
word.
girl. Appreciate
All right, y'all be good, brothers. Peace.
you.
All
You
right,
too.
thanks for stopping by once again, Gerald. It's always good to have you, bro. So you're welcome
Yeah.
anytime as usual.
And let me say this too, because see, for me, everything's tricky because black people get all type of stories painted about them, and then if you really dig into it, you find out it ain't true at all. So this even could be the case about Brianna, but what's the chances of it not being true? It's hard to say it's not because of the reputation of black women. I'm gonna say that it's hard to say it's not. But my thing is, if the cops broke the law, I mean, you live in a world where you have the power to take somebody's life. If you don't take that power seriously, where you just can go into the wrong house, something needs to be done about that. I can't let you slide on that one. I'm not gonna let you slide. I understand paying the woman some money. The because I heard her mother got received money over this. I don't know if it was a father involved or not, but I heard that's how I heard it reported. A mother got 12.5 million because of this. My thing is at the end of the day, man, cops got to be held accountable. You can't just be going in people's houses and killing them and it just be all right. Point blank. Period. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was already against that
absolutely.
with Boston John, so I can't be pro it with her. You know what I'm saying? You go into the house killing people and you getting the wrong person. I don't really want to hear no bunch of excuses at that time. You got to take the fact that you can literally kill people. You got to take that seriously.
But the scene that how things have been going, they haven't been taking that very seriously. I mean, just popping people.
Now
But
they take it seriously because the people that get popped like that be black, so they take it serious. Yeah, they don't take it serious when it's us.
yeah, more like it. But what I want to make a point about people like Dane Cameron is like this thing about us being on code. Being on code as blacks. Honestly, for people who always try to play this little fair game and everything, you do understand that's what they do to us, correct? For the audience and for people that's going to watch the replay. Um, yeah, they get on code on us in a second. And people like Daniel Cameron, my biggest problem with him is people like him just don't get on code. It's like it doesn't. I mean, whether you believe that we're not a monolith or whatever. I mean, I just felt like he went above and beyond to just go the other way, and I don't think that's cool at all. Especially him being a black man. And as a black man, I think I'd get to have an opinion as such.
Well,
So as far as Attorney General of Kentucky Dan Cameron, I feel like he fucked up. Seriously.
well, I'm gonna say this because I want to learn a little bit more about his situation, and like I said, he didn't make himself look quite good. Because my hope would be that he would just, or let's pay the woman some money. Because I already know we're not gonna be able to make no justice happen anyway. So let's at least let her get some money out the deal. But when you start having a bad reaction to the protest, it make it hard for me to believe that was your mindset. You get what I'm saying? I'm trying to find a way to give you benefit of the doubt, and then you do something that you make it almost impossible for me to give you benefit of the doubt. So
Mm.
I wasn't digging that at all. You know.
Okay. All right. Well, let's shift gears here as far as like being on code. Let's go from somebody who isn't on code to someone who I feel like is on code, and I feel like us as a people are being highly unfair too. And I do feel like it's a fix of white supremacy. And I'm not talking about Brittany Cooper. I'm talking about I'm talking about Ice Cube and making little stupid chops like that because like somebody decided to listen to him and it wasn't exactly the people we wanted. What I'm saying? He this man right here, O'Shea Jackson, he approached the Democratic Party and the Republican Party with what he called the CWBA, the contract with Black America. Just basically an idea that we are going to sell our vote and just instead of just giving it to you and ultimately ending up with nothing to see if you would address our concerns. Um, the claim is that when he talked to the Democratic Party, they was like, "Well, we'll holler at you after the election." And the claim with the Republican Party is that I've heard everything about they looked at his contract with Black America. They were going to make some adjustments to go along with this platinum plan and all of that. And we talked about a lot of this last night's broadcast. So you can go check that out as well. You can watch that. Just because that was a pretty good broadcast, but I just feel like that Ice Cube has been a brother that's always been on code. He's the opposite of brothers like Daniel Cameron. And I feel like that we are being and like we as a people, as a community, are being extremely unfair to Ice Cube, calling him a sellout and calling him a COON, and it's impossible for me to see him as such because I grew up listening to Ice Cube and watching everything the man has done. The evolution of his career, a successful businessman and a successful family man. It's just impossible for me to ever see him as such just because he's talking to people who are actually running things. Is I don't get our people. It's embarrassing, and I do feel like that WS has something to. I mean, personal choice, yes, but WS leads you into this kind of thinking anyway. Just like how you look at, how you look at. Let me introduce this logic to you. Okay, say you're talking to your average Black person, right? It could be a friend, it could be a family member, and you introduce a new term. Okay, I'll use the term gaslighting. Gaslighting is not something that is a word that too many, that I think that the majority of Blacks have been introduced to. I just learned it recently myself, and I don't condemn the intelligence of others, for being ahead of me. But at the same time, let me put you like this. When I approach this certain individual, friend, or family member with this term gaslighting, they question me. It was like, what is gaslight? Nah, coming up with these internet words, blah, 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 blah. And I was just thinking, you question it when you hear it for the first time from a Black person. The same thing with a white person, same thing happened. They hear a new word. You know what they do? You know what we do as a people? We don't question it because we don't want to look stupid in front of that white person. If you kind of get what I'm saying, is how we view, WS, as far as how we view some white as versus how we view something Black. It's like viewing like Rodeo Drive versus Walmart parking lot. That's how we view white as far as how we versus how we view Black. And I do think that's pretty ultra sad that you're to the point where if someone gives you some information that is tangible, that sound like it makes some sense, you dismiss it because it's coming from a Black man. If this had been, yeah, absolutely. Now, if this had been Joe Biden,
go ahead, finish thought.
I mean, if this had been Joe Biden, he came up with a plan called the Lift Every Voice plan. I was like, oh, and people didn't question it. People didn't say it wasn't his place. I mean, he is the presidential nominee, but this is exactly the kind of thing that I'm talking about. You got someone who had stayed successful and say, hey, you know what? I want something for Black people. He literally said that. I want something for Black people. When you say this people of color stuff, that still puts Black people at the back of the line. And he has an amazing point when he says that. But how did we react? It's like, how did we react? Oh, he endorsed the Trump administration.
Well, you know what? A lot of Black people just prove by what Ice Cube did and their response to it. A lot of Black people prove that they're either one a hater or because some of them just hating because Cube is just so successful. So some folks just hating on him because of that. or they proved yes they are a WS themselves. Because at the end of the day, when you're trying to get something done, you got to talk to people. It is what it is. There was no war that ever ended with a truce without the two sides talking to each other. That don't exist,
Mm,
you know.
mm.
And what you're saying about how people just accept it from white folks, it's a place in what California. White people say is Rodeo Drive, right?
Yeah.
And it's
Downtown.
accepted as Rodeo Drive.
Yes.
But white folks was, I mean, the West was known for cowboys and all that type of stuff, right?
Hmm.
It's Rodeo Drive, man.
Rodeo. They call it rodeo.
They call it rodeo, but it's rodeo, man.
It's rodeo.
It's Western. It's Western. California is known for its Western history and all that. The street is called Rodeo Drive. But see, a white person say Rodeo Drive, and now folks just accept it as, oh, it is Rodeo Drive. Man, it's
Strong
rodeo.
point. Strong point.
You know, just because some white folks came over there and put certain stuff over there, whatever. Now it's Rodeo Drive. No, it's Rodeo Drive. And if you don't believe me, look at the sign.
Okay. And okay, let me read Goldie's comment. And Diddy is doing something too, but it's in support of Dems. He went hard for Hillary. Black men need to be loud for Ice Cube, just as loud as black women are for Cardi. Well, I mean, yeah.
No, I'm not. No, I can't
I,
say
I
yeah.
mean, I
Black
mean,
people, black people need to be loud for Ice Cube. Period.
mm,
What Cube is doing is doing something that makes things happen. And but black people are showing this. We are so politically ignorant that we don't even want to talk to the people that can make something happen for us.
mm,
This what black people are doing right now is politically embarrassing.
yeah, sad, politically sad and embarrassing. It gives us it makes us look stupid. And I mean, you know,
It's confirming stupidity at this point.
yeah,
It's really
yeah, pretty
confirm.
much.
I hate to say we are this stupid as a group of people, and I understand folks ain't even politically savvy like that. I'm not even tripping over not being politically savvy, but if you don't know you got to talk to the other side to make an agreement, you're a complete idiot at that point.
Mm. Yeah, but I will say that there's a major difference between Ice Cube and Cardi B, though. Like seriously, you know, uh, oh man,
I said Cardi B ain't did nothing for black women but be a woman. Ice Cube has done something for black people. Period. He got a record he can stand on.
yeah, pretty much. You know, he's always rolled with us. I mean, you know, like I said, he coined the term America KKK, which is superficial compared to some of the other things he's done. But he's employed black people. He made sure that black people were okay. And plus, he set a foundation for his sons, something that, you know, we complain about black men not doing. But because of some of the fixes of white supremacy, it won't allow us to see it.
Man, Ice Cube check off all the boxes of what a man would want to do before he leave this world. He checked them boxes off. Any type of human level stuff, he checked the boxes off. The man, he's a very successful man. You know, he is that the high value man, as Kevin Samuels was talking about. People know what Ice Cube about. They know what he represents. They know his companies. The dude is just on point in all kinds of ways, and he's always stuck himself out there for black people. Period. Even back in the NWA days, that whole controversy was about what at the end of the day, black people.
Yeah, it absolutely was. Uh, yeah, I was saying like it was a difference when Ice Cube was with NWA and then when he wasn't with NWA. Um, the music when you know in Straight Outta Compton was more charged to how they saw everyday life in America for black people. You know, it wasn't so I'm a killer nigga, blah blah blah. I mean, NWA became about that once Ice Cube left, but you know that's another conversation. But that you know, but we know the story. I mean, no, he'll never have dinner with the president. And
Yeah.
I mean, like, even, but you know what though? He like, speaking of that, he even said that though. He said he had never met Donald Trump. Never.
Nah, I feel you, but see it just like you. Just because I ain't never met you, don't mean I can't ask for nothing for my people.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, you
Like,
just a dude in the chair right now. The
and
president is just a guy in the chair for the moment.
mhm. Now, okay, now since we're talking about celebs, let me go ahead and show you this guy right here. And yeah, let me, speaking of, I want you to, I want you to see this guy and tell me your reaction.
I'll go to Jones. I know you wasn't comparing the two. I know you wasn't comparing the two. I'm just saying that every black person has no real reason they can't stand behind Ice Cube about what he's trying to get done. There's literally no good reason to support Ice Cube at this particular point. That's all I was saying.
And I saw that social media post comparing it, and there was a energy that was there. So, I mean, I do understand Goldie. It does seem like that she thinks with a level head. So we
Well,
understand.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I actually think it's an insult to compare Cardi B to Ice Cube. There's no
Yeah.
way that's not even a fair comparison. I would never even think that they should be compared. Real talk.
Okay. All right. Well, look at the screen, Roger. Now, this is definitely a guy that is afraid of WS. I don't, and it's been physically proven, and it's been proven with all his little rantings
Hey
and
man,
ravings as of late,
hey
all over the
man.
media.
You wait a minute, man. Hold on, bro. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? What we used to say back in the day? Don't test my nuts, nigga. You can't be talking about Terry Crews. You can't be talking about Terry. He boy, would you really want to test his nuts?
I don't know if the screen share is working, man. Let me hold on 1 second. Let me.
I seen Terry Crews up there, but I'm just saying that ain't the type of man you want to test his nuts, man. Real
Terry
talk,
Crews.
man. You don't just test a random man's nuts. I'm just saying. You don't test his nuts. That's what they used to say back in the day. For anybody who don't know, you know what I'm saying? When folks talking about being hard, it was like, man, you don't test his nuts. You know. But Terry Crews had his nuts tested. I don't think he passed. I'm just I'm just gonna leave it at that. I don't think he passed. He ain't passed that test.
No, not at all. Uh, but uh, but the reason why I'm saying why he's scared is why. Like, I'm with a lot of people on that. Why didn't he just do something? Why didn't he just defend himself? I mean, once somebody puts a hand on you like that, then it's pretty much a wrap. I mean, and then the way he explains it as if it was done for a few minutes, and I don't like. And I'm not saying that the guy who did it. I mean, it doesn't from the picture I've seen of him. He doesn't look like he stands like 7'8", you know, 600 pounds of muscle. That a guy that's big enough to be able to bully Terry Crews. But I mean, look at Terry Crews. Like, you ought to be able to lift this man and rip him in half. Kind of
what,
like
what,
you remember that scene in Deadpool 2 where the
what,
Juggernaut comes out and just rips Deadpool in half.
what?
I don't get it, man. You just gonna let this man caress your balls, and then you still get kind of shafted in Hollywood because of that, dude. You should have knocked this motherfucker out. Like
Well,
they said, even his wife walked away as this man was doing it. Oh, this Hollywood shit. Like,
okay, well let me get in here for a second, man. Okay. For all you reasonable black men out there, yes, Terry Crews had a reason to punch him in the face. And I can understand, somebody not doing that first reaction, especially if they think it's attached to their money. You know what I'm saying? Because if you just work a regular job and you got a wife and kids at home, you can't just punch somebody out. for unless you can prove you in a good situation to do it. You know what I mean? Um, I don't really want to know just how long that man was caressing his nuts. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the way this story was explained, it sounded a little too bogus. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give slight benefit of the doubt because we really don't know exactly how it happened, but it sure didn't sound right. I'm gonna say that it sure didn't sound right. But after you let the white man caress your nuts, you can't then go after
Caress.
black men. I'm just saying, after you let the white man caress your nuts, you then can't go after black men who say something you don't like. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
That
like,
don't look right at all.
because see,
You know,
according to him, black people turned their back on him when that happened, and like
wait
honestly,
a
you
minute,
know,
wait a minute,
being
wait a minute.
kind of
Black people turn their
but
back on him when what happened? You talking about when his nuts was caressed?
like yeah, when he was caressed, you know, I mean, it's for real though, man. It's like for the things that I've said on the internet, for the things for the things that I've
My
said
bad,
on
man.
the internet, if I let
My,
somebody caress my nuts like that, then it's over with for me. I mean, I don't expect any mercy for that. I don't. I don't care if it's Brock Lesnar. I could have did something. Like no man, there's no excuse. And then what makes it even worse is like his ranting and ravings online about walking the line between black supremacy. Like what the fuck is this guy
man,
talking?
you know what? You know what? I can't even do this no more. I can't even try to say this dude next. Man, what we supposed to do after you get your nuts caressed? I see. I was trying to speak up for the man a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's a bad situation. You done had your nuts rubbed and all that to the point that your wife walked away. And I tried to somehow try to make sense of, don't just blow
I
up.
mean, I'm watching.
You might lose income. I'm sitting
Dude,
here
you need to
trying to
watch the
fight.
hearing. You need to watch the hearing. The way he describes it. He said it was for a few minutes. A few minutes. I'm talking like 10 seconds. Like you can imagine 10 seconds of it. It's like 2 seconds is already too long. Few minutes, dude. Could you have just walked away? What
Nah,
are you looking at? He's looking in his eyes. You better not walk away, Terry. No,
see,
you owe me
I,
this. Like,
I I tried for a second to help a brother out, but no, now he talking about what black people didn't stick back. Man, come on, dude. You shouldn't let nobody caress your damn nuts. Plain and simple. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know what black people are supposed to do when your nuts are being caressed. What am I supposed to do? Grab the white man for you? You needed my help so you can beat him up? Dude, you used to play in the NFL. You work out all the time. What you need black people to do for you? Cause some white man got your nuts in his hand.
see, this is what. But see, here's what made people flip out though. Right here, saying stupid shit like this. Conquer our own negativity.
Man, you ain't conquer that. He didn't conquer his own negativity. When a white man got his nuts in your hand and you don't see that as negative, I don't understand what you're talking about.
I mean, dude, that's literally like, man, they got you by the balls, man. They got you by the balls. Like, you ever heard that saying?
Absolutely, man. And I'm over here trying to see if I can help paint a picture in some kind of real light. And this dude talking about black people ain't stick with me. Like, what we supposed to do, bro?
I'm not sticking up for your ass now. Like,
I'm throwing dude right under the bus at this point, man.
look at
Straight
it,
up.
and then his everybody hates Chris co-star, Tyler James Williams tried to talk some sense into him. And he was like, well, this is blurry on my end, so I don't expect y'all to see it that much better. But it looks like it says, I'm not trying to call you out at Terry Crews. It's always is all love always, but we're rightfully angry right now and fed up with anyone not with our cause wholeheartedly. I don't want to see that energy pointed your way or diverted from like I said, it's blurry on my end, from the cause. And then he answers like this. And let me do I don't know, what my Terry Crews voice, which is going to be very poorly done, but hey, I'm, gotta
It
add some excitement.
sound like a man is squeezing your nuts.
uh, I no, let me just read the shit. All right, I understand, Tyler. I was not saying black supremacy exists because it doesn't. I am saying if both black and whites don't continue to work together, bad attitudes and resentments can create a dangerous self righteousness. That's all. And I mean, honestly, if he's already using existing white supremacy as an example, I totally see his point. But the fuck this dude. Seriously, like
Yes,
I can't.
strike all my earlier comments that was trying to somewhat help this dude. Strike them all from the from the record. I ain't supporting dude at all, man. He better go on somewhere.
Can't do this, guy. I can't do this to you because see, thing is though, most black people just want to live in peace, raise their families, live productive lives, get the same shots that everybody else got in this country, and get what's owed to us. Seriously, and if anyone wanted to make the argument that some blacks are scared of WS, I would pretty much put Terry Crews up there as a shining example of that point. Period.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that one.
Like,
He
dude,
got us
man,
out here
just
looking
shut
bad.
it. Dan, just shut up, man. Damn. Like we don't have to hear this. Like I really wanna like honestly, I really want to bat for black men, but not this one. No, I don't have to bat for all black men. That's why I don't understand, why a lot of black women bat for all black women like that. Except for of course the ones that ride with the brothers, but that's another story. That's what you like to call your average UOF, Roger.
Well, only if
But
they 36, bro. Mhm.
yeah, but that's another thing about WS co-signing the feminism. I feel like feminism is nothing but WS.
Probably feel that way because it is.
Yeah, and I mean, like the argument, yeah, can't. I mean, it's. I do believe in women's rights, but I do believe that women's rights and feminism are both dynamically different. Is one is about supremacy, one is about equal rights, and that's all there is to it.
Feminism
And
ain't got nothing to do with women's rights.
yeah, absolutely. It's just it's toxic doctrine that piggybacks off other movements. Period. And I mean, like, if I, it's like it's. I don't understand why black women scream about feminism. Period. I mean, we like it's. I don't understand it. We're not in a position. I mean, even if we're not in a position to oppress, we're not oppressing you as black men. We're not.
Well, they're gonna say something about it because their loyalty is to white supremacy. That's why. It is what it is.
That man said, Yango Savage. I think he was making a comment about Terry Crews. That ninja actually thought telling the story was to get him sympathy.
You know what? If I was unfortunate enough to have a man caress my nuts, I'm gonna leave that part of the story out. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. I'm gonna leave that part of the story out.
Okay. Well, Roger, I think it's about that time. Go ahead and time to wrap things up. I think that this has been a very good show. Any of your final thoughts as we talk about the plague of WS conversation? I'm sure will be revisited in the near future.
Well, it's gonna be visited by me because I say it's only about 15 to 20% of black women that I believe are somewhere between good to great. So shout out to Goldie Jones, who will probably fall in that category. I really believe she does. Um, but at the end of the day, man, black folks got to decide whether they want white supremacy or they don't. It just is what it is. Stop taking their gifts. Stop taking their trinkets. Do for self, and it'll work out. Well, we can't sit here always wanting some type of handout and then complain about the people giving us handouts. We know why they can give us the handout because of all the corrupt stuff they do. Play fair, play strong. I don't need no extras, and I'm gonna leave it at that. And I'm gonna stay with my. I'm gonna let my nuts swing free too. Okay, keep your keep white hands off black nuts. Power to the people.
Yeah. I, well, and thank you as always for coming by. But of course, long live the habitual line steppers. But I'll just say this: we have enough problems with WS coming from other sources, and the one thing that we don't need to do is put up more challenges that are going to get in our way. And a lot of these things are unnecessary and easily avoidable. And, it takes a little reflection to avoid such things from happening. Also, I feel like that we don't need to take everything that's thrown at us like the first thing that's thrown at us from other sources. What I think we need to do is we need to start uplifting our own sources. Start putting more trust into our own people outwardly and learn how to get on some kind of code. I mean, nobody's asking anybody to do the wrong thing based on skin color. I'm just asking you to think about it a little bit, because obviously your opposition is employing a strategy that has absolutely worked wonders for them and has worked to your detriment. So the thing is, though, we on our own has to stop letting WS keep us from being all that we can be as a people. And honestly, I do believe in us. If I didn't, I wouldn't even be saying nothing to y'all for real. I could just be one of these other people that don't give a shit, and that's very easy to not give a shit, believe me. But I'm not going to be one of those people, and I do applaud you for taking the time to listen and join me in these kinds of conversations, because what your input is valuable as well. Just realize that we are trying to get some positive forward things get going in the Black manosphere. And we mean well for this. We love our people, believe me. Even if we say a bunch of things that you don't agree with, know that we love our people and we have the best intentions of mind. And with that being said, just Roger, you got something to say?
No, man. Let's just keep white hands off black nuts. Just let's leave it at that, man.
Yes. So okay. So this is Kev, and I'm saying that we say y'all down here in the South. All right. Once again, tomorrow night's broadcast, any given Sunday, and I do that show by quotes, and tomorrow's quote for that show will be "Facts are stubborn things." So I hope to see you all there. So okay, so goodbye. Long live the habitual line steppers. And Kev, we trust. See you tomorrow night.